They're friendly and helpful.
Independent Health helps me get my prescriptions without hassle.
Independent Health helps me understand what my plan covers.
When I have questions about my coverage or need help finding a new physician, they're timely and helpful.
For the help you need, it's easy to see why so many people choose the Red Shirt treatment with Independent Health. See all the reasons to Red Shirt at redshirttreatment.com.
Inspired by actual member counts. Paid actors' experiences may vary.
Help starts here at Hospice and Palliative Care Buffalo, where loved ones and support specialists come together to provide compassionate care for those facing serious illness, helping patients live life fully while reducing worries for caregivers. Call today. Prepare for tomorrow. Call Hospice and Palliative Care Buffalo at 716-686-8000 or visit hospicebuffalo.com.
And now, the moment you've been waiting for, a senior moment with your host, Kerry Saunders. We talk about your health, staying healthy, your wealth and your golden years, and so much more. And now, a senior moment with your host, Kerry Saunders.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Kerry Saunders. Welcome to a WUFO Radio 96.5, 1080, a senior moment radio show. I'm Kerry Saunders, and we've got a great show today. Today on the Senior Moment, we have Peggy Bojic. Bojic? Bojic. Well, the show's over. Peggy Bojic, she's the Director of Rehabilitation at the Buffalo Centers. And we have Keyshawn McCary. Okay, we're gonna go Peggy and Keyshawn today, and he is the assistant administrator of the Buffalo Centers. We're gonna talk about Buffalo Centers and how they ease the patients anxiety about when they go to a long-term or short-term rehabilitation center, and their motto is "We want you to go home." So I thought that was really good. Because we all face that we need some kind of rehab at one point, and we have to pick the centers that are best suited for us and our family. And I'll tell you about Buffalo Centers, all the stuff that we do in the city of Buffalo, they support 100%, especially the stuff that we do at the YMCA and Delavan Grider and all the other centers in Buffalo. Buffalo Centers support us. So, and we should look at people who are supporting us, and they have a couple locations in Buffalo, and it's Buffalo Centers Rehabilitation Center. So we're going to get right to them in a minute. We're proud to have Roswell Park Competences Cancer Institute as our sponsor. If you have Roswell is important to our community because we don't have a hospital that just talks about cancer and focuses on cancer and rehabilitation from cancer, and that's Roswell, the number one in Western New York, number one in the state. So if your doctor says they might find something, you go to Roswell. Don't go to those outlying places. Just go to Roswell and get it done, because that's all they do all day long. Don't be afraid to go to Roswell and get your assessment and your screening. Screenings are very important. Prostate, mammograms, lung, they do it all. So go to Roswell. That's what it needs to start at. Today outside, it's raining. It's raining outside. It's raining outside today, and a little chilly, but it's still nice out. I mean, we could be snowing and walking in our snow. Because this is yesterday was the anniversary of the 2023 blizzard. So God bless all those who lost someone in the blizzard. And we went through it. Buffalo is a serious snow town, and like we see tragedies all over the country. We were one of those tragedies. So God bless all those who lost. I think it was 47 lives. That's awful. And we made it through, and so we're here to see Christmas. Speaking of Christmas, this is Christmas Eve, 2 days for Christmas. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. So if you didn't get your shopping done, I was at the mall yesterday. It was bad, man. It was bad. There was a lot of people shopping yesterday. Lots of folks. It was pretty packed. The mall was. So get it done. I know some people who probably just waited to the last minute to go out and get your Christmas shopping. But Merry Christmas to all, because I won't be here until next week. So Merry Christmas to all. Okay, so this morning we got a couple people, like I said, from Centers Health Fund and Buffalo Centers. We have Keyshawn. He's the director of administration for at one of the facilities.
Yeah, Keyshawn McCary, the assistant administrator at Buffalo Centers.
And we have Peggy Bojic. Boych. I'm crazy.
Okay, man.
It's okay.
Boych.
Oh, perfect.
Boych.
Yeah.
Peggy Boych, she's the director of rehabilitation. And the rehabilitation part of it is very important. Because a lot of us go to, we want physical therapy and all types of therapy. We're going to talk about all that stuff, Peggy. And so that's very important. And I'm glad we have you on the show. I'm glad we have both of you guys on the show. So we're going to start in a minute. I'm just going to turn this Facebook over to you so we can get you on screen and we can move from there. Can I get both of y'all? Is it both of y'all in there?
Are we on screen?
You're on screen? Okay, great. So this is just so we'll have a copy of our show. Now you're going to push it back. Okay, Sean. Okay, Sean, let's start with you. Tell our listeners what you do at Buffalo Centers Health and about the services Centers offers to people. Buffalo Centers offers to people that, that might need long-term care or rehabilitation.
So once more, my name is Keyshawn. I'm the assistant administrator at Buffalo Center. We are a 200-bed facility. It's a great place to be. I tell people all the time. If I'm there, it's a great place to be. Okay. We provide long-term care, dementia care, and we also have rehab, which is one of the most important things to me, I believe, because just as you said earlier, the goal is always to get people home. Prior to being an assistant administrator, I was the director of social work for many years. I would say for about 5 years. And I was big on discharge planning. I was a discharge planner, and my goal is to always get people home to their family, especially during the holidays. As we know, it's tough not to be home with your family during holidays. So, as always, the first goal is to discharge people home to their family after their short-term stay with rehab. And if those cannot go home, then we do have the option for long-term care, where we're able to provide long-term care for the families that need us and need that type of support and resource to be beneficial.
So Buffalo Centers is located there's one on Utica in Delaware?
Buffalo Centers 1014 Delaware Ave.
1014 Delaware.
And then we have our sister facility, which is Ellicott Center, which is off of 7th Ave.
So you're an administrator over at the one on Delaware?
I'm the assistant administrator.
Assistant administrator on Delaware.
Yes.
Oh, I'm raising you, dude. It's Christmas. It's Christmas present.
One day I'll be an administrator. Yeah. Right now, the assistant administrator on the right path to become an administrator.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're there. I mean, the man of color. That's good. That's what we need. Right?
I'll be praised.
Right. So Peggy, you are the director. You're the director for Buffalo Centers Health Rehabilitation Department, right?
Yes.
Tell us about what you do and what happens in Buffalo Centers Rehab Department. What do you do for Buffalo Centers?
Okay, so our rehab department, first of all, it's a really special department, not only with the equipment that we have, but the people that we have.
Yeah.
The team that I have is so fantastic. Every person that comes in there becomes part of their family, and we partner with them to get them home and get them stronger. And we have some state-of-the-art equipment. I can think of one specific piece of equipment is our Bear Rehab table, and that is something that no other facility in our area has. One of the greatest things, I had a patient who couldn't walk for 3 years. She transferred into our long-term, but we never gave up on her. And through the use of that Bear Rehab table and getting a proprioceptive feedback into the joints, she walks today and will be discharging her home in 4 weeks. I'm so excited because we don't give up on them. If they're not successful in the short-term period, we still don't give up. Our, if you went to Medicare.gov, you would see that our patients get more minutes than any other facilities in our area. And we have not only wonderful equipment, but our team does fantastic things with them, from tango rehabilitation, where they're learning how to do the tango, to we even had snowball fights in the gym this week with these fake snowballs, and they were learning to stand again and use their arms to throw things, which help with their balance. We have a full kitchen in our gym to teach them how to stand and make their meals, to build them back up for everything that they need to re-enter that
So
community.
that's part of your occupational therapy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk to you about the 3 therapies. So you know, it sounds like from what you're saying, Centers Health has the modern equipment. I want to talk about that, and they do a great job of rehabilitating people and getting them back out in the community, because that's what it's all about. Nobody wants to stay in long-term care.
I think it's definitely important, and excuse me for interrupting, but I think it's definitely important to make note what Peggy did say. It is for short rehab, normally for short-term patients, but although you may have been unsuccessful at some point with short-term rehabilitation, at some point the rehab team will pick you back up and continue to do rehab with you while you're in your long-term care stay. So although we do focus on short-term, we also still provide rehab to long-term care patients as well. So I think it's important to make note of that, because as she said, the person was for 3 years, wasn't successful, and now they're going back
that's considered long-term, right?
Yes.
Kishan? So Kishan, so you're talking about that. So let me know, let our listeners know, what do you do for long-term patients who come into the rehab to the Buffalo Centers and they're there for long-term, and how do you make their stay pleasant and productive? Go ahead, Keisha, because you brought that long-term.
So most definitely the goal is to discharge people home. So when we get to the point where as an interdisciplinary team, we realize that the best fit may be long-term care, first, it's tough on the families. We meet, we do care plan meetings, and we have to get the families comfortable with knowing that we'll provide the adequate care that their loved one needs. So once we're able to get them comfortable, then at that point, we look at making the long-term care their home. Anyone that's there for long-term care, the Buffalo Center is their home, so we treat it as their home, and we make it a home-like atmosphere. So if that's putting up pictures up on walls, planning birthday parties for them, planning family visits, we incorporate all of those things just so that it can be more like a home-like environment.
So the patient, the room they're assigned to, you actually go in there and make it like in their home, their room at home. That's what you do.
Yes. So they're allowed to put up pictures.
Put pictures of family members on the wall and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it makes it more pleasant for them.
Yes.
And then what about the family? Does the family have easy access, or?
The family does have easy access. The families are allowed to visit as they do please. They can visit when they want to.
Okay, so but I have to ask you, Keisha, because that's what we're here for information. Because we hear about and we hear stories about mistreatment of patients at nursing homes, and so what does Buffalo Centers do to make sure that patients are not mistreated? Because that's the horror stories you hear all the time. People calling, and people calling the press, people calling authorities and everything about someone's been mistreated in a nursing home. So what does Buffalo Centers do? And I'm not saying Buffalo Centers does this, but I'm saying, what do you do to make sure
that doesn't happen?
That doesn't happen in Buffalo Centers.
So I truly believe that Buffalo Center is a great place to be. We are fully staffed, where there's enough employees in the building to provide the adequate care that the residents need. Right. It's tough. I was a server for about 14 years, and I tell people all the time, normally when you go out to eat, when you have a bad experience, you call the manager right away, or you write a Google review saying this happened. On most cases, when people do have great times, people don't go and put good reviews on Google or call the manager over and say that, hey, the server did an amazing job. So it's a similar situation. Most reviews that you do see online are negative reviews, and we're trying to change that around, where people do see the good in the nursing homes, not only Buffalo Center, but in all the nursing homes in Buffalo point blank. The employees do great work, and we're trying our best there. I believe with the care plans and meeting with families and keeping them involved, that is what leads us to successful care and avoiding all those negative views that people do have on our facility.
So I think you hit on something that's been happening a lot, staffing shortage. So you're fully staffed. So you have the people there to take care of the people, right? Because I think there's a lot of mistreatments, because this is my opinion, this is what I read. It's always like when people get mistreated, it's because the person there has been working 16 hours, been doing double shifts and triple shifts, and then they get like tired and say, well, to get into a routine of maybe, okay, I can just get some rest and not help this patient right now. But you're saying you're fully staffed, right?
We are definitely fully staffed.
Okay.
We've had a hold on hiring CNAs for the past couple of months because of the fact that we've been fully staffed.
Good.
Our goal at Buffalo Center is to retain our staff. So currently we're working on employee retention. So we're doing different activities and giving out different gift cards and stuff like that, and doing holiday parties just to retain our staff, because we think it's important. As you know, if you are someone in a nursing home or someone in general that has to constantly keep dealing with changes, you're not going to be content. You're not going to be happy.
Especially when the patient, they're used to seeing Peggy.
Right.
And all of a sudden they see Maria.
And Keyshawn is the new director of rehab.
Yeah.
So I think it's important for us to retain staff, because that also encourages more of a home-like environment.
And relationship building between the staff and the residents. And I think that one of the greatest things for us too is, as a management, as a leadership team, we meet every single day and we discuss everything. We watch out, we go out on the floors, and we really make sure, are they getting what they need? How can we improve? Every day, a lot of people, they don't like change, but every morning we get together and say, what's going on and how can we make it better for them? So we have this heart attitude where we love them and we want to keep improving to give them the best care.
So Keyshawn, I'm going to get you one more time, and I want to go to Peggy and talk about...
You put me on the spot here.
Well, we have to know.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Oh, you got his Bill shirt on. Now you want to be...
I'm barely, I'm not from Buffalo, but I love the Bills.
All right, there you go. Okay, but Keyshawn, I just want to ask you, because I hear that Buffalo Centers Health has a great recreation department. I hear that.
We got the best recreation department.
So what do you do?
In Buffalo.
What do you do, like, if a patient comes there and they're there for long term or short term? What do you do for recreation?
We have plenty of activities that go on throughout the day. Fully staffed activity department. It could be anywhere from holidays, parties. Like yesterday, the director of activity and her team has wrapped up over 200 gifts for all the residents in the building, which is amazing. We had the staff that supported, that was willing to offer gifts to the residents. Those are wrapped up. We have zoos that come. We have ponies that come and visit. Okay. So there's a good amount of activities. We do family events, summer barbecues, and they're calling. How are they calling while you're on the radio show?
I do that all the time. I don't get it. But anyway, so all right, and I should have cut my phone off. That's my bad.
You may have an emergency.
So Buffalo Centers have a great recreation department, right?
We do.
So let's get into the rehab, because that's important. That's what the centers are really for, to rehab people, to get them back home. And Buffalo Centers believes in getting people back home.
We certainly
That's
do.
our main goal. Because I talk to people from Buffalo Centers because they do a lot, like I said, in our community. A lot of sponsor a lot of our senior events, and it's always the main goal is we want people to have fun first of all, and they're having fun with us, but get them home if they do come to our center.
Absolutely.
So tell us what happens when a patient comes to Buffalo Centers and said, or is referred to Buffalo Centers. One thing about it is, if somebody refer you, you don't have to go. You can pick your own center.
You certainly can.
Right? Mm-hmm. So, like, if your doctor refer you to a center, and you want to go to Buffalo Centers, because it's located right in Buffalo, right on. You don't have to go way out in the country somewhere.
In the heart of the city.
Yeah, heart of the city, and it's a very, very clean and vibrant place. You can say, I want to go there, right? And so what happens if a patient comes to when they first get there? And you do an assessment on them on what they need for physical therapy, or rehabilitation?
As soon as they come, within 24 hours, they'll have a physical therapy, an occupational therapy, and a speech therapy evaluation.
Right.
We look for any kind of impairments that would prevent them from being safe in the community at that point. So we ask them also, what is your goal? Where are you going back to? What do you have that we need to help you be able to do? Is it stairs that you have and we need to help you do stairs? Is it that you were at a wheelchair level before and you need to be able to be functional in your wheelchair again? So we find out what they need and what their time frame. We give them a time frame, and we work 6 days a week with them to get them back home.
What's the difference between short-term rehabilitation and long-term rehabilitation at centers, Buffalo Centers?
So, in my mind, the only delineation that I say is the time frame it took you to get home. If you, and that's like an insurance thing where all of a sudden you're not short term anymore, you're long term because you didn't get out in the short term period. But what happens with that is sometimes it's a medical thing. Sometimes you have a wound or you have an instability with your meds that just prevented you from having the very best outcome your first, 8 weeks. We don't give up on you. You still have your therapy just like you were short term. We just extend it.
Short term considered 3 months or?
It really depends.
It
on
could
the
be a couple of
insurance.
days.
Yeah, I mean, I have people that have been on short term for a year, but they had a lot of complications, and the insurance company kept them, and the plan was to go home. Right. Then I have others that after a month they're like, you know what, home isn't realistic. Can I go long term?
So they need Medicare.
Most of them have Medicare
that comes into, but everybody, you need it to get in there. So explain the different rehabs, physical, occupational, and speech. Okay. Explain and what you do. And for instance, somebody come in and they want physical. Physical is getting yourself back to normal, right? Or something like I can say.
So physical therapy can treat you from head to toe, but in our facility, we focus mostly on the functional mobility. That's your ability to get up out of a chair, to roll over in your bed, to move yourself up in your bed, to get out of that bed and get to a chair, to walk, to transfer, all different things like that, and the strength of your core and your legs also to move you into those positions. Occupational therapy, that's where we let them focus more on that upper body and that fine-tuning of, can you make a meal for yourself? Can you groom your hair? Can you brush your teeth? Can you shave? So all the things that you would need to do on a daily basis, more of like a personal care, we call them ADLs. So whether it's making yourself a meal, whether it's brushing your teeth, whether it's transferring to the toilet, then we go into the speech. And sometimes you've had a stroke and we can rehabilitate a swallow or, a speech, and we do exercises with them. So it's everything. And we literally will assess them for all different things. Sometimes they don't even know they have a weakness, and we make them better than what they were before.
So speech is like if you start to slur your words and stuff, you help them build their speech back up. So it's physical therapy, I think most people heard about physical therapy, and most people go through it. So you try to get the muscles back to strength and stuff like that, and people can walk.
And you balance, and we decrease the falls risk.
And so you guys got great. Tell us about the machines you use at Buffalo Centers, because I went to the one on Ellicott. It was like, wow. It was really, really like modern. Everything was.
You need to come to ours.
I was about to say, I'm gonna challenge you.
Buffalo Centers has got that too.
You gotta come.
I've been there. Amazing. We just gave a big, party there with Buffalo Centers for Thanksgiving.
We did the Thanksgiving event.
Yeah. Like 300 seniors came and from the community.
Yeah.
That's what you guys do. So, but okay, talk about. You stay out of it, Casey. You go proper.
He's hogging the microphone.
Come on now, Kerry.
No. What I'm trying to say is I want to hear from the director of rehabilitation about what they got going on.
Go ahead,
okay. So first, we have equipment, like arm weights, ankle weights, TheraBands, which add resistance, all kinds of small equipment. That way, just in case that patient first has to work in their bed, doing exercises in their bed before we can get them out of the bed, we have stuff that we can take into their room and provide care in the room. Then we have in our gym that same equipment we use there as well. Oh my goodness, you have to see it with a patio that goes out. So we do inside and outside exercises because we want to make them safe for the community. And we have bikes, we have Gymtronics machine, which is super cool. They love this. Even if they're in a wheelchair, it's almost like a Wii machine where they have something in their hand and they work on their balance or they catch things, and it helps their whole body move and start just loosening up and strengthening. And they love the visual of it. We have the Woodway balances that works with your core, and it's very interactive, and it gives us a printout of how well they're doing with their core, things that maybe they didn't even know that they were weak with. We have the Berryhab table, which I told you is one of my favorites. It's fully adjustable height-wise. It even has a seat that lifts them up. So let's say they can't get up from a seated position like you and I are in right now, which is like a 90 degree. I can move it up so they only have to use a muscle for 20 degrees of that get up. And then I start lowering it down as they get stronger. It has a full area to block them in. We have stairs to work on, parallel bars, all kinds of equipment.
Do you have a big team?
We do.
And all your team are professional physical therapists?
They're all licensed,
They're all licensed therapists? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's great.
I have at least 20 therapists there every single day.
Wow, really?
And I have
so you do have a big staff. Yeah.
We offer more minutes than any facility around us for care because our deal is I want them to go home fast. So when my therapists evaluate, I say, how many goals do we need to make them go home? And then I want to give them minutes for every single one of those goals so we can get them home.
So your main objective here is to get patients back home.
Yeah.
And that's where they want to be.
They do.
Because a lot of centers, a lot of health facilities keep them there as long as they can. But you trying to get them through the therapy and back to the community. What is your what rate is how high is your rate of getting people out of the facility really quick, back on their feet? If you don't know that, don't worry about it.
I really don't know that, but I'll tell you one thing that gives you an indication.
Sometimes you do a good job, though. You don't.
I do. 2 weeks ago, there were 20 new admissions, which means imagine how many we're discharging that we could bring 20 admissions in 1 week.
Wow. That's good stuff.
So I don't have percentages, but I'll tell you that
Buffalo Centers over there on Delaware and Utica, do a great job. Tell us about the Buffalo Centers Go program. What is that? Is it a new program?
I wouldn't say it is fairly new. It's not as new, but the Go program, it allows rehab patients to come in, and we give them access to Netflix, where they are allowed to stream Netflix shows, movies. They have access to a phone in their room that they can call their loved ones. I think that's one of the biggest things where people get anxious because they don't have a phone to call their loved ones.
Good stuff.
So there's a phone in each room so that they can call their loved ones. And then we have a special, I would say like Burger King, have it your way. You can order meals that you want. If you want a burger, you can get a burger.
Tim Hortons coffee.
Wow. We do have Tim Hortons coffee as well.
So you can actually order burgers if you come as the Go program. But the Go program is to get you out.
It is.
As you go, you stay for a few weeks. You get a few. That's what it's. So it's like the Go program. Check that out. You can have Burger Kings every day.
No, not Burger King, but you can have it your way.
You can have it your way every day. You hear that?
But I think it is good. It keeps our residents that are there for short term motivated.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a good
gives
idea.
them things to look forward to.
They can look at Netflix while they're there, and they can order food
through our dietary kitchen.
Through your dietary kitchen.
And the dietary staff are prepared to make.
And it all comes with that's not out of pocket expense.
It isn't out of pocket.
So it's all. That's a pretty good program.
They love their Tim Hortons coffee.
And so it's just for short term though, right? Mm-hmm. And so how do you determine who gets the Go program, who doesn't?
So as you said, it's for short-term care patients, but we don't exclude people. If there's anyone in long-term care that wants something different and wants a home-like meal, we're definitely going to do that for them. So as you know, Thanksgiving did pass, and I think we focus on Thanksgiving meals that are the population that we serve, the type of foods that they like to eat, and that we provide to them. I even myself cooked for the staff.
Because we had, when we were over at Centers, we had turkey, greens,
some good
macaroni
food.
And cheese.
Yep.
Right? We put nice caterer was in there, right?
Pie.
Sweet potato pie.
I do want to shout out the caterer. Her name is Crystal Harden.
Yeah.
I believe the company's TNC.
Yeah. Okay, so because I think we're out of time. So where's Buffalo Centers? What should they do if somebody listening? They know people that. No, let me ask you one quick. Do you have to be a patient of Buffalo Centers to go to your rehab?
You do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's an inpatient facility.
It's an inpatient facility? All right, we got to wind it up here. Go ahead, Kayshawn, tell us about what you want to say to people. Wish them happy Merry Christmas and tell them about Buffalo Centers.
So definitely, if you're interested in Buffalo Center, we are located at 1014 Delaware Ave, Buffalo, New York, 14209 in the middle of Buffalo. We can be reached at 716-883-6782. You can actually speak to any of the administrators in the building, who is Izzy Levinson, or myself, Kayshawn McCary, as the assistant administrator. It's a great place to be. I enjoy working there, and I love all the employees and patients that we serve. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope to see you soon.
Peggy, go ahead.
Merry Christmas. Come see us and have a tour at Buffalo Center.
Yeah, we got to go. All right, hey, Buffalo Centers is the place. You know, it's a good facility, especially when we're looking for facilities to take our loved ones or ourselves for rehabilitation. Just check it out. That's all I can say. I always try to bring good stuff here to WUFO Radio 96.5 Senior Moment Radio Show. We love you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
You just heard a senior moment with Kerry Saunders. Join Kerry every Saturday.